You're listening to Interviews Cracking the Entrepreneurship Code. I'm your host, Laurent Autin, an entrepreneur, coach to entrepreneurs, and startup mentor. There's no denying that being an entrepreneur is extremely hard. So I created this special series, The Entrepreneur Alphabet, to help you navigate your entrepreneurship journey. I share practical A to Z insights across 26 short episodes. Yes, 26 like the number of letters in the alphabet, so you become a better entrepreneur. If you missed the first episode, don't worry, log on my website to catch up, laurentautin.com/podcast. I've talked to 100 entrepreneurs on my show. I've coached and mentored dozens of business owners and startup founders. There's one thing I've learned about entrepreneurship. It's a calling. Sometimes it takes long to awaken it. It took me 18 years, for instance. But I came to realize there is no in-between. Either you have it or you don't. And because of that, no entrepreneurs set themselves up to fail. No entrepreneurs believe they can't do it. But it happens more often than we'd like to think. Why? Usually because companies' founders have locked themselves into a situation they can't get out of. They know something's wrong. Perhaps they've seen some signs or people have warned them, but somehow they don't act. Call it ego, fear, or lack of accountability. It doesn't matter. Because of their inaction, the company doesn't move forward either. The consequences can be devastating. The bigger the company, the bigger the impact. Think Nokia or Kodak. That's what I call becoming the main bottleneck in your business. And it's the biggest risk you face. I repeat, it's the biggest risk you face. There are many ways you can be a bottleneck, but the price you pay is always the same. You are stuck. And when you're stuck, your business is stuck. Interviews is brought to you by Social Prize, a global remote company that has been providing marketing and communication services since 2005. Their goal? Help you thrive in the new normal. Log on their website to learn more, socialprize.me. There are 4 entrepreneurship stages. Stage 1, basically the pre-launch, when you wonder how you're going to do it. Then you move maybe in stage 2, the start, when you get the shit done yourself or with your co-founders, if any. Then comes stage 3, growth. Starting growing a little bit, you make sure the shit is done. Like, for instance, you're hiring more people. You're being a bit more structured so that you can move into stage 4, maturity, when you build an organization that gets the shit done. And then you start playing the infinite game. It never stops. So I mostly work with businesses and business founders at stages 1 to 3, because this is when the risk of being the bottleneck in the business is the highest. During those stages, the founders, and here I refer to the human beings, and the businesses are very much interconnected. There's no differentiation between them. Simply put, the founders are the business. For instance, I often talk about the importance of purpose, and I will dedicate an episode about it. Let me tell you, there's no difference between the founder's purpose and the business purpose. They are the same. Other examples. When the founders are tired, their exhaustion transfers to the business. When they're stretching themselves too thin because they do too many things at the same time, the business stretches too. And when the business founders don't perform at their best, their business doesn't either. That's when becoming the bottleneck in your business happens. So, how to tell if you're the bottleneck in your business? Some of the most frequent symptoms are as follows. 1, you work really hard, not counting your hours, but your workload doesn't seem to decrease. 2, your people don't make decisions and aren't accountable. As a result, you make all the decisions and you ask yourself, why is this happening? 3, you're busy fixing problems rather than thinking about strategy and, for instance, working on solutions. And 4, you are frustrated, you are worried, you are tired by the entire situation. Let me share you now 3 practical cases so you understand better what I mean by being the bottleneck. Case number 1, worrying too much. In my case, for instance, when I worry, my inner judge sends me an uninterrupted flow of questions like, what if this or that go wrong? Am I good enough at what I do? Why can't I find more clients? Should I stop doing what I do and find a real job? Why are they more successful than me? Etc., etc., etc. The number of questions is limitless. And it's amazing to see how much time I can waste trying to answer all these questions and reciting these stories despite their absolute uselessness. I give them so much importance, they prevent me from moving forward. And then it becomes a nasty vicious circle. And as a result, I feel trapped. So I'm stuck. Therefore, my business is stuck. Bam! I'm the bottleneck. Case number 2. I know many entrepreneurs who get buried under the many tasks they deal with daily. They suffocate. They can't see a way out. I also know many entrepreneurs who never take some time off because they are afraid it would slow them down and make them lose the next big opportunity, for instance, or they won't be able to do everything that they have to do. And usually, both go hand in hand. But there's a difference between being slow and taking a break. Being slow is when you spend 1 month writing a proposal that could have been done in 2 days, or when you know you must act but procrastinate. Taking a break is when you allow yourself to stop for a while, to recharge the battery, to take a step back so you can get back at it with full force again. One way leads to you being more efficient. The other way, and guess which one, gets your head even more stuck into day-to-day operations without being able to take a step back and breathe. If that's the direction you've chosen, bam, you just become the main bottleneck in your business. Case number 3. I had a client who was supervising all his customers' projects himself. He reached a point where he realized his position was unsustainable because he couldn't find the time to do anything else. Like, for instance, taking a step back and looking at the big picture, thinking strategically, He was telling me he really loved the interactions with his clients, which is why he was deeply involved with them. So we started digging together and found out that he did not actually want to delegate the responsibilities to someone else. So we dug a little deeper and we uncovered the cause of the problem, the real cause of the problem. The fact is, he was very proud of the high quality standards his clients benefited from. Standards he'd spent years building. I understand him. And so the actual truth was that he was afraid of seeing a significant decrease in quality if he was to delegate project management. And that's why he kept all the project management responsibilities under himself. In other words, he could not let go. And because of that, he was stuck. And let me repeat it again. When you're stuck, your business is stuck. Bam! You now understand he was the bottleneck. You may wonder what happened to my client. Well, we worked out a solution to not only ensure the quality of its services wouldn't decrease, but we actually used the situation as an opportunity to improve it. I could come up with many more situations of being the bottleneck. They will be addressed in the future episodes though, so stay tuned. Alright, I've talked a lot about being the bottleneck. However, it's also true that strong founders mean strong businesses. And to ensure you're a strong founder, you need to do two things. One, you need to learn the business skills required to run a company. For instance, sales, marketing, financial management, leadership, etc. And two, you need to develop the human skills necessary to perform at your best, both mentally and physically. And here I'm talking about building resilience, discipline, empathy, endurance, strength, etc., etc. Unfortunately, you can't just learn and develop overnight. Of course, the business skills can be taught or outsourced, but the human skills are harder to teach and impossible to outsource. I mean, how can you outsource empathy? So they need to be nurtured from within, and it's a personal journey, a lifelong process. I mean, contrary to what many people would like you to believe, there is no secret recipe to success because our personalities get in the way. So-called secret recipes always address the business side, not the human side, and provide short-term fixes, not long-term solutions. So when you master both the business skills or outsource them to someone better than you, as well as the human skills, then you will think long-term and avoid being the bottleneck in your business. You may ask yourself now, what? What if I realize I'm the bottleneck in my business? What can I do about it? Well, it's my job to help people in your situation. So I give you two advice. Grab a copy of my ebook, The Entrepreneur Mindset, 7 Tactics to Avoid Being the Bottleneck in Your Business. You'll find all the links in the show notes. And two, reach out to me by email, contact@laurentnotin.com or on LinkedIn, and we'll arrange a chat and we'll specifically talk about your situation. Thank you for listening. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. Don't miss episode 3, C for Cash. Bye for now.